After waking up to record cold, we got some sun and a relatively quiet day until snow. Chances return tomorrow, and it could make your drive home from work a little challenging. Good evening, I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Kyle Clark, and she is meteorologist Kathy Sabin, who knows what is headed our way.
And again, Kyle, just the messenger here, but we have one more hurdle before we get to exhale and enjoy a warming and drying trend. And we will see that change arrive in just a matter of hours. Smooth sailing out there tonight. It's cold, but not as bad as what we saw yesterday. -7 where we started this morning. That just shatters that record of -4 set back in 2006. We are currently 12 degrees in Denver, and we have single digits and colder air out on the far northeastern plains. Wind chill values going to 15 and 20 below, but not in Denver. We're doing okay. And you know it's been cold if I say that 12 isn't that bad. We have extreme cold warnings for eastern Colorado and cold weather advisories out on the eastern plains through 11 o'clock tomorrow due to the wind chill potential of 20 and 30 below again tonight. Next storm is already on the way. It's coming in from the northwest. It doesn't have a lot of cold air support, but it's got a lot of moisture. So we're thinking accumulating snow is definitely likely in Denver tomorrow night into the drive on Friday morning. Fine tonight, fine tomorrow morning, no issue. But by dinner time tomorrow night, that snow starts to fill into Denver, and we could be looking at 1 to 3 inches here in the city, 2 to 4 west and south, up to ½ a foot up in the mountains and foothills. No advisories yet, but we're watching the snow modeling very carefully and the timing. I will have all of that for you coming up in just a bit.
Denver police arrested 2 people today accused of a hate crime. Police say they shouted white supremacist and neo-Nazi stuff at protesters and threw glass bottles at them.
9 News reporter Spencer Soycher joins us. And Spencer, you spoke to one of the women who was attacked, and she said this was entirely unprovoked.
Yeah, the 3 women had just parked their car. They had signs with them. They were on their way to the protest at the Capitol. They weren't raising them in the air or anything. And then one of them decided to start recording what happened next.
I'm so concerned by that behavior.
And as soon as we got out of our car, we started hearing yelling.
Ruby knows exactly what she heard while walking to the Capitol protest 2 weekends ago.
He's doing Nazi salute and yelling white power, Nazi power.
She was headed down Lincoln near 10th Avenue with her friends, and she says a man in a blue truck drove up beside them.
And then he backs up, starts driving erratically, starts backing up even further on the one way, and that's when we're like, we should videotape this. Like, this is not normal. This is kind of scary.
That's when they started recording.
Starts backing up. The kid's flipping us off from the passenger seat. And then just starts throwing glass. Grabs a second one. That one is a little bit closer to me. And then a Nazi salute.
Denver police arrested 2 suspects Wednesday. The man they say was the driver, 48-year-old David Halverson, and the teenager who allegedly threw the glass jars out of the truck. Neither Ruby nor her friends were hurt.
My 2 friends, they said that they were pretty surprised that this happened in Denver. I mean, we all grew up in Denver, so it felt out of the ordinary. For me, personally, not so much.
The yelling and Nazi salute didn't stop them from going to the protest, but Ruby says it speaks to the political climate and the rhetoric out there right now.
This is gonna keep happening. You know, more and more hate is gonna just keep occurring unprovoked to people who aren't doing anything wrong, nor do they deserve it.
Police arrested Halverson and the teenager for attempted bias-motivated crime with bodily injury. Denver police did not name the teenager because he's underage. Ultimately, the Denver DA will decide on the final charges. Live in Denver, Spencer Soycher, 9 News.
Jurors in Clear Creek County are now deliberating in the second trial of the deputy who shot and killed Christian Glass. Andrew Bune is charged with second-degree murder. He was one of several officers who responded when Glass called 911 in June of 2022. After he got into his SUV stuck on a boulder, prosecutors argued that Bune's conduct that night created the problems, that he was so determined to get Glass out of the car that he broke his window, shot him with beanbag rounds, a taser, and then shot him 5 times in the chest. Bune's defense team argues that Bune saw Glass swing a knife in the direction of a fellow officer and was justified in using deadly force.
This case was a tragedy. Andrew Bune's heart breaks every day for Christian Glass's family. No one in the world has second-guessed every act, every word, every movement like Andrew Buin does.
Tragedy? You know what the tragedy is? The tragedy is about Christian Glass. Tragedy is not about Andrew Buin.
Last spring, a jury convicted Buin of reckless endangerment, but couldn't decide on the more serious charge of murder. This new jury will be back at the courthouse at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
A church in Montrose is serving as a home for people living on the streets after that city implemented a camping ban. Montrose Methodist is letting people set up tents in their courtyard. The city is not happy about it. The church has been cited more than 20 times for storage of litter, keeping of junk, nuisance on premises. The city requested an emergency abatement order to get the camp cleared off church property. Judge denied that request today.
It's hard not to be overly happy, right? I mean, it's a relief. It's a relief because you you come to know these people. For now, it is good news.
The city told the NBC station in Grand Junction that they continue to have concerns and they, quote, will apply the laws of our municipal code equally to protect the health, safety, and welfare of all Montrose residents.
A troubled apartment complex in Aurora is now closed, and today police took us inside one of the units at the edge of Lowry to demonstrate why. There were holes in the walls and floors, electric cables hanging from the ceiling, and bugs everywhere. The city of Aurora and attorneys for the owners of the complex, CBZ Management, reached an agreement to close the complex late last year. CBZ blamed the poor living conditions on gang activity, but they had long been accused of mismanaging the complex. It's something the police chief, Todd Chamberlain, reiterated today.
They use an influx of vulnerable populations and vulnerable migrants to maximize profits, offering substandard living conditions while failing to provide basic safety and/or oversights.
The city says 85 residents across 23 apartment units received a total of $94,000 in assistance to help them relocate or find new homes. The city says they got that money because their units were in good condition and passed inspection.
Years-long construction on Denver's 16th Street Mall is starting to wrap up, and now the city faces the issue of how to convince people to come back down there. City Council is considering spending $1.9 million on new art and activities and marketing. That would include rebranding and a new name. The money would fund events like live music and street markets, pay for more security, hoping to make people feel safe in an area that's seen some high-profile crime. The money would also be allocated for art to cover up empty storefronts where businesses have left.
This is about how do we really make the most of this infrastructure investment by being able to show how amazing this is.
City Council tabled allocating any money until next month. There were objections about using so much taxpayer money to improve just one neighborhood of the city.
The town of Castle Rock says they lose millions of gallons of water each year because of leaks in the town's water system.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez shows us how the town is hoping to use AI to fix it.
Finding a leak isn't easy.
So the team actually has been looking into this for over a year.
Within the 500 plus miles of pipes underneath the town of Castle Rock,
we can see anywhere from 130 million gallons to 240 million gallons a year in lost water that we can't bill for because it's leaked underground.
Mark Marlowe is the director of Castle Rock Water. He says even a small leak can turn into a big problem if it's not found right away.
Big water leaks that are causing property damage, they don't happen at 12 o'clock noon on a Wednesday, right? They happen at 3 in the morning on a Christmas Eve or whatever, and then you've got to bring in emergency personnel.
Marlowe says that's why over the next 6 months, the town of Castle Rock is testing out an artificial intelligence program, which he says can help identify leaks early and often.
These monitors will be monitoring the system 24 hours a day, monitoring pressure, sound, temperature, and all of those things put together will give them a fingerprint and a location for a water leak.
The town of Castle Rock says they'll be installing that artificial intelligence in fire hydrants, just like this one, programmed to detect leaks. Marlowe says these white boxes called loggers cost the town $90,000 to install.
And they train these AI models, right, based on the sounds of actual leaks. So as they train them, as they do more and more training, the model just gets better and better. And then they can find leaks that we just can't find.
He hopes the investment will mean fewer leaks and less money down the drain to fix them.
If we can do something to be more efficient, to save money on repairs, avoid big water leaks.
In Castle Rock,
It'll be a win all the way around if this is successful.
Colton Chavez, 9 News.